So if you don't mind, we'll start with a question, and thank you for joining me for a fireside chat this morning. But as Treasury Secretary, you oversee U.S. fiscal and macroeconomic policy. So I know every banker in this room is interested to see how you think about how the economy is going to develop over the next 12 to 24 months, and what key risks and opportunities should they be thinking about and looking out for as they're thinking about how to shape their businesses going forward.
Well, I come with some good news this morning, and Treasury, because of the Schumer shutdown, will not be able to release the exact numbers, but the CBO jumped the gun a bit, and it was on Bloomberg this morning that the deficit for this fiscal year, ending September 30th, will be slightly lower. When I went to see President Trump and more importantly, the deficit to GDP now has a 5 in front of it. So according to the CBO numbers, and we don't have the Treasury numbers yet, the deficit to GDP will have fallen from about 6.5%, which was the highest when we weren't at war or weren't in a recession in U.S. history, to 5.9%. When I went to see President Trump approximately 2 years ago to tell him that I'd like to come out from behind my desk and get involved with the campaign, not going to repeat many private conversations, but this was particularly notable. He looked at me, first thing he said, "Scott, how are we going to get the debt and deficits down and not cause a recession?" And we're on our way. I think we saw that today. So I think the president's economic policy, as many of you would have seen me say before, is a three-legged stool: trade, tax, and deregulation. The tax bill, the one big beautiful bill, has incentives for both corporate America in terms of full expensing for plant property and equipment, and the plant part is new. In the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act 2017, there was full expensing for equipment, but we have added structures for both industrial structures and, importantly, agricultural structures. So, secondly, on the other side of the ledger, it also includes the president's tax policies or campaign promises for working Americans: no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, low tax on Social Security, and interest deductibility if you buy an American car. I think one of the things that we are seeing now, most taxpayers have not changed their withholding stance to reflect this, so we expect to see substantial tax refunds beginning of next year, which I think will be accrued to lower-end consumers for the bottom 50% who need the relief, and concurrently, they will change their withholding schedule, so their real take-home pay will be higher next year. On the trade deals, I think one of the underreported aspects of the trade deals is not only are we taking in substantial tariff revenue for our American exporters, we have brought down non-tariff trade barriers and brought down tariffs across the board. So with many of the deals that we have gone from high tariff levels, and I tell you, for instance, Indonesia was very good about bringing down their tariff levels, but when they showed you the list of 9,000 tariffs that they had, you couldn't believe it. So, and like President Trump said, I don't blame the Indonesians for doing it. You blame the folks who were sitting at the Resolute desk for letting it happen. So on trade, we're landing the trade deals. That will increase certainty. And then finally, on deregulation, we've talked a lot about financial deregulation, but we're also talking about energy and industrial deregulation. We're trying to make it easy to build things here again in America, whether it's permitting for factories, for pipelines, for the electric grid. So I think I'm very optimistic that 2026 could be a very good year across the corporate and the consumer economy.